I love the smell of napalm.
Looks like I'll have to handle this myself, you incompetent fools.
Okay, here we go. I love that Flash voice filter. There's going to be S2 versus Flash on Circuit Breaker. Oh, except, man, that was quick. Down at the 8 o'clock position, and yellow is the Terminator. Who KT Rolster sends out... Oh, wait, he has his ruler. Of course he does. Let's see here. 12 inches to the left, 6 inches away from keyboard. Wait, I got to hit the S key. No, I think he's already... And down at the 5 o'clock position, in purple now, not red, is S2, who now is 1 game away from all-killing KT Rolster, which is a pretty tall feat. But if S2 does have a sniper strategy prepared specifically for Flash, I think he could get this done. I think he could go for the all-kill. Man, that would be legendary. But without a sniper strategy, he's facing Flash, who is, maybe arguably, but I'd say not arguably, the best StarCraft player in the world. And KT Rolster saves him for this kind of high-pressure situation because this is a situation in which Flash freaking thrives, man. He's been in front of crowds so many times, and he just thrives in this atmosphere. Not to mention he's the best player on Earth. Oh, man. S2, you're going to have a sniper strategy prepared, which you could definitely get something interesting, something that Flash won't expect, something he didn't practice for. That's what S2 is going to need to beat Flash, because if he goes for standard, quite honestly, I think he's going to be steamrolled. But we'll find out soon. The drone is going out to throw down the expansion, Flash building his barracks at the front, and probably going to expand very swiftly because that is Flash's style as of late. But what can be said about Flash that hasn't been said 100 times already? I already said he's the best StarCraft player in the world, and I think he is. And this is actually kind of a similar situation to KT Rolster versus NBC game in the last Winners League Finals, where they sent out all the players they could, actually sent out Violet. Aw, poor Violet. Yes, if you don't follow the scene as closely as I do, and you don't know about Violet, Violet was a player on KT Rolster. You've probably seen him play a couple of times, but he got diagnosed with leukemia, so he is in the hospital. They're trying to treat that. So that's a very unfortunate situation for everyone, for StarCraft fans and for the team and everything like that. But hopefully he will recover and get back to prime shape. I've heard that the kind of leukemia he has is treatable. I forget the exact survival rate on it, but I think he has a pretty good chance of surviving his leukemia. But I'm not going to talk about anything like that because I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hooray! But the second base coming down for Flash. And as I said, it's kind of similar to the NBC game Winners League Finals, where they sent Flash out as a last resort, as they almost always do. They almost always send Flash out last because it just scares. I think it's more a presence than anything, stage presence, because it scares the other team as he starts dismantling their players one by one. But of course, that won't matter much if S2 goes for something weird, which he is going for something weird. He's going for a 2-hatch into lair without putting down his 3rd hatchery anywhere. So we're going to start out with these 2 hatcheries, well, 1 hatchery and 1 lair, and we'll see what he gets done from here. But the second barracks on the way for Flash, already getting up his refinery too, and his second base just macroing up to the best of his ability. But the lair, as you can see, coming up, not much drone saturation at the natural expansion. And oh dear God, why? Is that Flash? I think it is an inflatable Flash or something. Wow. Yeah, it'd be great if the person under that took off the head and it was actually Flash, and they look back inside the booth and it's like some, I don't know, some other player, Violet or something, and they're playing for Flash. Dear God. Some of the creepiest stuff I've ever seen has been in Korean audiences, but Flash continued to keep his SCV alive almost long enough to see that Spire come up for S2. But this is a 2-hatch, 2-base Mutalisk build from S2, which is a very aggressive build, which means that Flash is going to have up his turrets or something to defend his mining SCVs very soon. Just lost an SCV there from some Zergling harassment. But he has the bunker at the front just in case S2 should go for Lurkers instead of Mutalisk. So Flash, it looks like, is preparing for... Well, hopefully he's preparing for both. Hopefully he has his engineering bay going inside of his main. But the third base up now for S2. He's going to put that down off of this switch thing. But yeah, it looks like Flash had anticipated Lurkers, probably Lurkers coming his way instead of Mutalisk. So this will actually be pretty tough for Flash to deal with, because the Spire is going to pop up. And Flash will be able to scan soon. Actually, that's probably what he was preparing for more than anything, for scanning both of these bases. And yeah, I think he got, both scanned, double scanned, so he is going to be prepared, hopefully, now that he has his engineering bay coming up inside of his main. I think he will be prepared for this. He already has his bunker at the front, just in case that was Lurkers, but it's not Lurkers, so he will have turrets popping up all over his bases. Hopefully soon, but now the Zergling coming in. Oh, I thought for sure that S2 was going to commit to that with the Zerglings. He had a chance to actually snipe one of the medics, which would have been huge, but decided to back off. I think STEM being researched for Flash, and I'm not sure if he was getting an upgrade from his engineering bay or not. Not sure if he could afford it, because now he's going to have to build turrets all over the place. Coming in there now, S2, he's been sneaking by with so many Zerglings. Not sure how he's getting by with these Zerglings, but he snipes another SCV, some nice harassment from him, and he gets out of there with one single Zergling remaining. But alright, here comes S2. KT bench is looking very sullen, but their hopes have to be pretty high, because they are dealing with Flash now. In here, he's going to have to get up that second turret to the right side of the main, but it looks like turrets are popping up everywhere, and Flash is going to be okay as far as anti-air goes. The third base popping up for S2. Let's see if he does saturate that or not. Going for such an aggressive opening, it would be kind of unusual to switch into that now. But Flash, I saw he scanned the 2 o'clock base looking for a third base anywhere. He's going to have to probably move out soon to deal with that, or work with another scan from his second base. He does have those 2 scans. But he didn't see the third base, so he might be a bit suspicious that S2 is going to stick to 2 bases. That is not what S2 is doing, it seems. But S2 going for the kill of the turrets. It takes down 2 turrets, but there's still 2 turrets remaining. And Flash pulls in with all of his Marines. Doesn't really have any medics. Okay, the medics coming up from behind to heal the Marines. It looks like S2 going to still try to go for more SCV kills. And S2 actually has his... Hydralisk then at the natural expansion, so he might be doing a full transition into a Lurker type of build. I'm not exactly sure, but he snipes one medic there behind the base, and he's taking down a lot of turrets. So if he continues aggression behind that natural expansion, I think he'll be able to pick off a lot of SCVs. But so far, I haven't seen any Hydralisk pop up yet for S2. He might be working on that Lurker upgrade, but now Flash, crazy dancing SCV next to those troops. But I saw the engineering bay upgrading, so Flash might have the +1 upgrade for those Marines soon enough, but he doesn't have it yet, so he's probably going to be forced to stand his ground, basically, as the Mutalisks are still holding the middle of the map. But once the Marines have the +1 upgrade, of course, they're going to rip into the Mutas like crazy. So, yeah, switching into a Hydralisk build, well, Lurker build like this is probably the best way to go for S2 now. He had to deal with so many turrets, too. He probably saw the amount of turrets and said, oh, crap, okay, I got to transition into something, and he has a third base going anyway, so I think he's in a better position, losing his Mutas, losing 2 Mutas that I saw, third Muta going down, 4th, running into the turret trap too. Man, S2 is just taking so much damage. Come on, S2. Barely sniping that medic. I thought he was just going to dance around it for a second, but noticing that there's no static defense at the front, I think Flash will go for a break at the front. Of course, his medics are back there, completely exposed. The medics going down, so many medics going down, so Flash might actually back off at the time being. No, he's going straight for the base. Anyway, pushing. I wish the observers would look at the Marines at this point to see if they do have the +1 upgrade, but the Mutalisks are dying pretty quickly, so they might. But okay, Flash, he's sending some troops to that 3 o'clock base. Just a few of his Marines are just sneaking in there, trying to get some damage done. But so far I see nothing coming from that Hydralisk den from S2. He's just going straight for mutas, losing a lot of mutas attacking these troops. But he comes in anyway, kills most of the Marines that were out here. And these Marines caused a lot of damage over here at that 3 o'clock base, just taking down drones basically. But Flash sees that there's nothing else coming his way, so he's still building turrets. Turrets all over the place. Hopefully he doesn't overcommit. This is a lot of turrets, actually, from Flash. But no, the Mutalisk coming in. Huge turret traps of Flash. He's got to pull in here with all of his troops. A couple of Scourge in just to try to find a science vessel, I think. But it looks like Flash is not committed to that tech yet. Oh, lots of mutas going down, and S2 forced to back off yet again. So it's actually smart of Flash to build that many turrets. Is a natural expansion's going to be okay? Man, is it okay? But still plenty of turrets next to the barracks too from Flash. But it looks like S2 has finally nudged himself behind the minerals of the main. Going to try to snipe some SCVs back here. But he's going to trap himself back here. He's going to lose all of his mutas if he's not too careful. Pushing the front with Zerglings, actually. It looks like there's only one Marine and the bunker. But the bunker repaired, and it looks like Flash is going to be okay at the front. I don't see any more Zerglings moving down the map either, but man, S2, he might have overcommitted to troops. I don't see anything else for S2. No, he has not saturated his new base. He saturated his second base, but he's going for all muta and all muta attack with Zerglings to help this out. And finally, the science facility coming on the way for Flash. So he will have out the irradiates to deal with the Mutalisk clumps. Still working on upgrades, so I'm pretty sure he does have his +1, probably working on +2 attack for those. Oh man, let's see if S2 can actually break through with Zerglings or something. He's moving down the map, probably with Zerglings at this point, just to push the front. Yeah, he has some Zerglings and his Mutalisk. If he attacks at the same time, it might be a little bit easier to do this. But S2 is kind of dwindling. He lost a lot of troops, a lot of mutas trying to kill the Medica Marines that were out there. But man, S2 trying to go for the kill inside of this main, but just losing everything in the process. Look at the +1 upgrade and the +1 armor too for these Medica Marines. But oh man, not looking good for S2. Yeah, there's a GG from S2. He's going to be working against a 2-base Terran that was going to have science vessels soon, so that was a big losing battle for S2. It was kind of gutsy of him to throw down the Hydralisk den, though. I think he was hoping to do another fake out Flash, to make him scan that and think that he was transitioning, but it didn't quite work out like that. And now the ball is in the Terminator's court. Terminator B-ball. And we're moving on to the 5th set.